Peace be with you and welcome back to my channel for another video. I appreciate in advance for you liking and subscribing and or hitting the notifications button for alerts to let you know when I have new content on my channel. Just a short description of how my channel works. I channel direct messages from spirit as needed to the collective. And for now, I'm not doing any tarot cards, but that could change in the future depending on what I feel my path is guiding me to do. So with that being said, if my channel resonates with you, welcome. If you get something from this message, obviously, I hope that it resonates with something that you need to know moving forward on your path. And if it doesn't resonate with you, maybe there's somebody that you have in mind that you might be able to share this content with. Needless to say, let's get into the message. So, for the last 3 days, Spirit has really been on me heavy about translating to the collective divine connections and counterparts. Um, because we are at the end of a lot of karmic cycles, meaning the people that have really decided to do the work on themselves, they're now stepping into their wish fulfillments, as we call it. And it doesn't surprise me that, obviously on that list would be your counterpart, right? It's not exempt from what you're wishing and wanting in life, your one true love. So it's been tough really getting this message through, and I don't know exactly why. So I really had to sit with myself. And I think in doing so, I realized that my counterpart um, is connecting with me in so many ways. And surprisingly, it encouraged me to put this video out. And when I mean by connected, you kind of feel, you know, um, you feel your counterpart, whether you know them or you don't. There are some things that can't be explained. There are some things that carry over from lifetime to lifetime. And true love never dies. And we should all be so lucky to find that in this life, the next one, as we've always done. That's inevitable when it comes to love. So many things being explained on so many levels during this divine shift and elevation because we're being upgraded with what I'd like to call great spiritual responsibility to use this power that we're being given as a reward for completing karmic cycles, for learning our lessons, for understanding our journey in this life and our path. Um, those gifts are to be used with a certain level of graciousness, if that's even a word, but being gracious with your gift, kind and loving, the basics, the things that oftentimes we don't know if we're implementing those characteristics the right way. And so during this season of elevating and learning and going within and really doing the work and really healing those parts of us that needed to be healed, there's great responsibility because some of us are meeting ourselves or our higher selves as divine counterparts. For lack of better words, it's a love relationship with your highest level self, right? Because your soulmate or your twin flame is just you in a physical sense of your reflection and who you are. That's what that is. So, divinely being connected to your higher self is so vital because with wish fulfillments and wanting and needing certain things for whatever our reasons are to get us through this life, or some of us need certain things to move along our paths and get certain things done, whatever your reasons, it is imperative that you should inevitably, meet yourself. I don't want to mistranslate what Spirit wants me to say in regards to that, because most times when we hear soulmate, when we hear twin flame, we are thinking and wanting and, that to be somebody else outside of ourselves in the physical, which is still very a real experience, but only to the capacity and the level that you've met yourself. If that makes any sense, I hope that does. I really do. That you've met yourself at your highest level of self, meaning you get a glimpse of yourself, be it in meditation, be it in the dream state, reality, the physical, the spiritual. You get a glimpse of yourself at your highest level of vibration with all the things that you need on the inside of you, helping you to manifest those things that need to be present on the outside of you, but inside out. Spirit is saying to go deep within. In doing that, you will see your higher level self. You will understand and connect with yourself at the highest vibration. That is true spiritual soul reflection and connection. And then within that experience, you're also going to envision the soulmates, the twin flames that you're supposed to meet at that level of your higher self, even if that has yet to manifest or it's in the process of manifesting. Right now, those things are happening very quickly, right? The doors of abundance are open, the doors of love. I mean, we are in a very powerful energy being under the Scorpio moon. There are portals of divinity being open, if that makes any sense to anybody who understands that. There's realms to the highest heaven being opened for us in order to pour out onto us what we need. And as we transition into that time, the willingness to accept completion, to accept the death of oneself, and then the rebirth of something entirely new, completely reinvented. As they say in the Bible, you can't put old wineskin or old wine, I'm sorry, into new wineskin. A new spirit into an old body is a waste. So everything has to go when there's a death. In the rebirth, there's gratitude and compassion for yourself, compassion and patience as you move about your path, as you nurture yourself in the physical and the spiritual realm, as you lovingly heal those parts of you that need healing. A death is never easy. It can hurt on a physical level and a spiritual level, but it's very necessary. And the more we do it, the more we cling to the appreciation for just life and the understanding of it and the survival of it, the self-preservation of it, the understanding the power that we're truly plugged into. It definitely yields a vibration of victory. It definitely brings about change, good change. Because remember, at each and every level, we are doing a self audit, a mental audit, watching the way we see ourselves, watching the way we think about ourselves, in the quietness of ourselves and being still, being very transparent and naked in the presence of the divine providence, the Most High. That energy moving all through you and around you, the understanding of that, the power and the submission to that as a creator, that is the death of the physical ego. Because I think an ego can definitely be something physical sometimes. It can be so thick that you can touch it, even if it's just an idea within one's character, the ego. So I'm really being encouraged to just explain to the collective that this time is so vital. Cleansing, purging, fasting, understanding what we put into our bodies is affecting our spiritual growth. Now, that could be figurative and that could be literal, the literal food that you put into your body, but mostly spiritually what we're putting into our bodies. For it says in the Bible that it's not what goes into the body that defiles the body, but what comes out of the body that defiles the body. Hence the fact that I could be 100% healthy, take my vitamins, but if I have toxic thoughts, my body is unwell. So what are we putting into our bodies spiritually? Because that's what's going to come out. That's what's going to sustain you. That is the food that you should be eating. So there has to be a death. There has to be a death of old thinking, old ways of doing things that did not, I'm not going to say they did not do anything that they weren't supposed to do at the time that they were doing it, but certain old ways that are no longer useful to this point, to this capacity. New ways. I need new spiritual enlightenment. Because now I've seen too much to this point. I've seen my highest vibrating self, which is operating in a realm of knowing and power and being fearless. But oftentimes, the ego, the old self, dies very, very hard because it is very easy to get addicted to doing the wrong thing. It is easy to get addicted to the battle. It's easy to be addicted to the karmic cycle. So to completely die to that idea, take with you what you must and be like Lot's wife in the Bible and don't look back, lest you turn into a pillar of salt. Looking back in pain and anguish will only salt your roads because it is behind you. So the higher level self is calling out to the lower vibration, screaming, I'm here, and here's what we're doing at this level. Won't you join me? Won't you allow me to move you to the place of completion so that you can finally see, if you can only see what awaits you, you will look back and laugh. But don't look back. Don't look back. Takes a very special person to look back. Those are levels in ascension. Takes a very, very special person to look back. So surrender it all to the Most High. Call upon your spirit guides. Call upon your angels, your war angels, your deliverance angels, your recording angels, your spirit guides and guardian angels that have followed you through lifetimes from the past, the present, and the future. They're guiding us for a reason. So there is a knowing at the highest level of self. There is a self-mastery at the highest level of self. Patience, trust, and control of self. Patient with myself, trusting myself, controlling myself. Within myself, that is my divine relationship. My higher self is my divine counterpart because it's counteractive to what I am at this moment as I go through the death. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear absolutely no evil because God is with me. There's a rod, there's a staff, there's war angels that fight for me and comfort me in the presence of mine enemy. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me every single day of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever and ever. That is a powerful prayer because oftentimes we're in the presence of our enemy because we're being an enemy to ourselves. The illusions. Nobody's really your enemy. Everybody's your teacher. The illusions become real because you give them life. And so with that old way of thinking, there has to be a death and a rebirth. It's inevitable. It's necessary. And deciding to allow that rebirth to happen and committing to that. I guarantee there are going to be remnants of the person or the persona or the character that is dying that is going to want to make its way into the new self. So you have to make a decision. The elevation process is a very tedious process. It can't be rushed. There has to be every single cell, every single bone of this experience, every single, drop of blood in the physical body, the spiritual, all of that has to be at attention with an understanding that the higher self is the goal. And to accomplish that and to be diligent with that and to be patient with oneself. It's not the environment. It's not the things over there or what's over here or what's on TV or what's going on. It's the things right here in my very element, meaning I am my very element. I am my higher self. I'm crying out of pain, anguish, hurt, heartbreak because of these situations, these people, these places, only to find out at my higher level self, I was really crying out to my higher level self. That I wasn't truly even complaining about anybody or anything else, but simply calling out with a yearning to my highest self. That is my one true love. That is my wish fulfillment. And in that, you begin to pick up certain signals from your divine masculine, from your divine feminine. Knowing that they're waiting for you at the highest level. They know and trust because they have foresight and vision and clairvoyance and gifts. They know that you are meeting them there, even if they themselves haven't been to that point, even if they themselves are waiting to be their highest self. There's a knowing with the two of you that you will meet one another at that level. That's a fact. So, I'm going to do another video on this. I want to focus a little bit more on love. It has prompted me to really be obedient to what Spirit is saying and just to really speak from my heart, with the hopes that people really feel that and understand that this is definitely a journey and there's something really dynamic happening here. And I just hear Spirit saying that we are being encouraged to decide, unwaveringly decide on what it is that you want to do, want to be at your highest level self. What does that look like? What does that smell like? What does that feel like when I close my eyes and I imagine myself at the highest level? Now, naturally, we want to think externally. Oh, I'm wealthy, I'm rich, I'm beautiful, I'm fit, I'm healthy. All those things. Those are wonderful things. But internally, I encourage you to imagine yourself at the highest level of vibration, the highest level of light, and close your eyes and imagine what it feels like. Sometimes we have to close our eyes in order to see. Eyes wide shut. When I close my eyes and imagine myself vibrating at the highest level, I am exempt from pain, fear, sickness, and death, or anything or any experience, trauma that has previously held me down no longer exists. Like it just does not exist. The way that I see those experiences at my highest level self is that of gratitude, is that of appreciation. I'm in love with the pain that it took to mold me to such a great level. So I will do another video. This is going to be part one. I want to go a little bit more into the dynamic of friendships and connections and meeting other people that are too at their highest level of vibration, because we are all gravitating to one another. And that's a beautiful thing. That's something to be happy about, even if you're not there yet. Needless to say, I thank you again. Peace be with you. Thank you for allowing me to hold a place of love and light as I do myself for you and anybody that is privy to listen to this message. I thank you again. Peace be with you, beloved.